We are now working on our surrealistic image inspired by the artist Sandy Skoglund. And so I already have my Pixlr open. Make sure that you do Pixlr E, please. And make sure that you do have your mini projects doc open as well. We are doing the Sandy Skoglund multiplying objects. The objective is to create an image that has multiples of one element within the photo. Practice using the selection tools and layers. So, as I say here, we open up Pixlr, we choose Pixlr E, then we're going to find an image. And so you can find an image two ways. In the last project, we just used the stock search on Pixlr, but you can also look for an image through Google as well. So what we're going to do is I'm going to look through Pixlr. If you would like to find out how to look for it in Google, please watch the video that is attached to your assignment. So I'm going to go to stock search and I'm going to say beach. I'm creating, now the idea is to find a background and then to find one thing that you are going to repeat. So I'm going to show you some examples. Here's an example from last year. The background was New York City, and they chose to repeat a potato. Or background is the mall, and they chose to repeat paintbrushes. The pool and penguins. So you can see here they played around with size, with opacity, with multiplication. Here we have butterflies. The idea is that it's very interesting image to look at when one thing is being repeated. Now the question is, especially when you're looking at this, Ms. Zimmer, do I have to repeat the same exact image? No, you don't. You can repeat the same subject matter. So we have kittens, and so it's the same subject matter, but it's not the same exact image. Can I use the same image? Yes, you can use the same image, absolutely. Okay. So the project objective is to at least use 3 different images. However, as you can see in all of the examples that I did show you, the students used more than 3, and it does look way more interesting. Look at this, the cloud, it's a cloud, the penguin is a cloud. So to the directions, I am looking for the background image, the stage of which I'm going to set my surreal image, the image that might look like a dream or looks like something from my subconscious. If you can see here, as I scroll down, you can go to load more. And I like this image, wooden walkway, so I'm going to choose this. Again, you can choose whatever type of background that you want as long as it is school appropriate, but the background is kind of like the living space of the objects that you are going to put in your artwork. So it does need to be something that is appropriate, whether, as I showed you before, whether it's a mall or a beach or mountains. So it can be a room, it can be a movie theater, etc. So I'm going to click on this and I'm going to say full HD. I don't need it bigger than that. And here it is. So now I have my background. Isn't that wonderful? But I need to decide, well, what is the one thing that I want to repeat in this artwork? And so I thought I would repeat something that actually doesn't really belong, because it is surreal. It is not totally real, but it's kind of inspired by reality. And so something that I probably wouldn't see in this type of scene is large raspberries. And so what I'm going to do is look for large raspberries. And you can see here, I did actually do a search already and found this image, and it's still here. So I can click on that, or I can go to stock search, but I'll click on that. And so now if you look here, image of the raspberries, and you can see here that this file actually kept the selection. What I want to do is Now I want to choose from this image, well, what's the one raspberry? And it can be more than one from this exact image because I see a couple that I could use. But what could be the one raspberry that I want to repeat? And I'm going to choose this raspberry because it looks like a whole raspberry. And so just like we had just learned, I'm going to use the lasso tool. I'm going to use the magnetic tool. Before I do that, I do want to get closer. So I am going to do that. I'm going back to the lasso tool, magnetic tool. And now I want to choose this raspberry, and I'm going to do the best that I can. Now, I might not be able to get these little hairs, and right now, that's not something that I totally need. I'm going to do the best that I can. And as I showed you before, if you do make a mistake, you can actually go back and fix it by using the like that, using the regular lasso tool. For some reason, as I'm working on this, my image is getting bigger and smaller. Okay. I'm going to press Command 0, come back to try to get to the beginning as I mentioned to you before, and I'm going to double click. And so now look at that, look at what I selected. It's totally horrible. So I'm going to go up to the free, and I want to remove a selection. And so what I'm going to do is remove some of these selections so that it does look more appropriate. Alrighty, so we're going to do the best that we can to make it look as natural and as good as we can make it. And as I showed you before, I'm going to add a little feather around it just in case, so that I don't have the edges too in focus, just in case I made a mistake. So I'm going to, as I said to you before, there's no science behind it. I'm just going to say 20. Why not? Then I'm going to do Command C. Hold on. Okay, Command C. And I'm going to come back to my beach scene. If I need to make it bigger, make it bigger. Use the move tool. This is the move tool. It says arrange. So it's move, transform, and change layer settings. You can also use the shortcut, which is keyboard shortcut V. Now, just like any other program, when I want to paste something, what would you do? What keys would you press? Okay, yes, you would press Command V. Now I have my raspberry, and so I do need at least 3 of them, if not more than 3 of them. However, before I do that, I can see that some of the edges are a little not as good as I would like them to be, and so I'm going to use the eraser tool, if I can find it. I just want to erase. All right, now that you have watched part 1, please find part 2 and you can finish watching the tutorial. Okay, bye!